This week on Erotic Awakening, free male chastity devices, why bother to write, and single in the scene.
We'd like to thank our latest Patreon supporter,
Ryan B.
Thank you. You didn't write it on mine.
We enjoy creating and recording this podcast and hope you enjoy listening to them as well.
When you become our patron, it gives us the chance to apply more energy towards creating.
For as little as $1 a month, you can support us.
Yes.
And get special access to all kinds of stuff.
Awesome. Head over to patreon.com/eroticawakening to take a look at the options.
And regardless, thank you in listening to and enjoy listening to the show.
Welcome to Erotic Awakening, an exploration of all things erotic. If you are offended by adult topics or prohibited by law, we recommend you stop listening.
Win
Right now.
Hi, Dawn.
Hi, Dan.
Today on the podcast, we are speaking with Crimson Aurora, who is going to tell us about what it's like to be single in the scene as a submissive.
Do you know what Crimson Aurora means?
No.
Aurora is Spanish for dawn.
Yeah.
Red dawn.
Red Dawn it is. I've seen that movie. I prefer the original version. And we also have a question of the day about writing. But Dawn, I also want to mention before we get any further, I have sitting in a box, which you can't see in front of me right now because I don't have it with me.
Okay.
And I'm sure as hell not wearing it because I don't know how to wear it. I have a Vice. It is a male chastity device called the Vice from the fantastic Locked in Love. It retails for $160.
Holy cow.
And we're going to give it away.
Nice. How are we going to give it away?
I don't know. I think we will give one away. I think that we are going to say thank you to our patron supporters by giving them first chance at it.
Ooh.
So I'm going to send an email to all of our patron supporters. I'll send a link to that device. And first person to speak up that says, damn, I'd wear that. Or I have somebody at home that I'll make wear that. And is willing to do a review for us.
Ooh.
They can have it.
That's nice.
Then I'll have another one, which everybody else get a chance at.
Cool. I like that idea.
So there you go. Keep an eye on your patron emails for those that are patrons and get your some male chastity device going.
Indeed.
If you want to see what it looks like, you can look online at, just do a search for Locked in Lust. The item is a male chastity device. It's called Vice. And I just did that web search, so I'm just dying to find out how Facebook or algorithm and Google algorithm is going to show me some search results coming up.
Nice. So awesome. Well, we do have an awesome question of the day, I think. It's slightly different.
Does it answer why I have a sock here in my hand? See, for those watching on video.
The patrons will find out because they get a recording of the dare.
Queen sock.
We will find out why there is a sock on the table.
Question of the day. You said what is a question of the day?
So it's just a simple question of the day. Someone wants to know what made us start writing. So it's not a sexy question. It's not a kinky question, but they were just curious about us and our thought process behind writing. And you know what? That is funny because I didn't realize that was a question of the day when I just added this. So we have Living MS, our first book, right? Sex Stories and Power Exchange, our second book, and then the Polyamory Toolkit, our third book. So
I'm going to answer the question to start with. You and I had been presenting for a number of years when we decided to write a book.
Living MS is about 2011, I think is when it came out.
The first book we decided to write was actually Sex Stories and Power Exchange, which ended up being the second book. We started to write that book because we wanted to be authors. We were presenting a lot. We wanted the accreditation. Is that a word?
Yeah, I think so.
Why not? Today it is. Accreditation of being authors.
Right.
So that's why we started that book. And that book actually never actually got done until we finished Living MS.
Right, because we started it and it was just kind of like a stutter to get it going. So it was a bunch of short stories and we were trying to figure out how to make the short stories. Some were fantasy, some were real. And we were just trying to figure out how to make it work together and not just be stories. So we were trying to think of things that we could write between the different stories to actually give it some education besides just erotica.
Right.
So we were kind of stuttering on that and how to make that work.
And then for whatever reason, we started working on Living MS and that flowed. And it is kind of like if you've ever done coding, right? Where you're working on a website or you're working on whatever you're working on, or painting or sculpting. And you get to that spot where you've gone from having to think about how to do it to just flowing into it, to that Gnostic state of just it happening for you. And that's how Living MS happened for us, as well as the polyamory toolkit. So I think the reason, though, the actual question, what made you want to write, is we have some experience that we believe is of benefit to share with other people. Some of it is where people, after we finished presenting a class, people would come up and ask us some basic 5 or 6 same questions that we would answer a lot. So we said, well, shoot, that's probably be good material to blog about or create a book around. And
I think we actually did some musings on those questions, right? Wasn't there master musings and slave heart musings? So people would ask us a lot of the same questions over and over again. So we did musings on these. And was this before FET, or did we do it on FET? I bet you some of mine were on Literotica or a blog or something like that. Yeah,
some of this did occur, especially for Living MS, prior to FetLife actually being a thing.
Yeah. So we took some of those musings and put them together, things that we'd already written about. We touched them up and, put those together. And then we decided on the he said, she said, right? So that way Dan could present his thoughts on different topics as a master,
and the background,
and I would do it as a slave.
The background on that is I actually came across a book by Monty Python alumni John Cleese, where he did a book with a psychologist. I believe the psychologist's name was Skinner.
Really?
No, that sounds like something from The Simpsons. Anyway,
Skinner is actually a psychologist.
Is he modern day? He's not.
No, I don't think he's modern day, though. I think he's older. So.
Okay. Anyway, it doesn't matter. But the view of the book was very much John Cleese and Skinner having this. Here's my view on the sort of thing. I just read a similar book with the actor that plays the Big Lebowski, Jeff Daniels, and Bernie Goldman.
I don't know.
Now I'm screwing that name up too. A famed Buddhist scholar, let's call it, where they did the same back and forth sort of thing, taking a topic and discussing it. So the point being, we found a way to have our voice to create the book.
Because we don't blend our voices very well, especially in Power Exchange, because we're coming at it from two different dynamics. So how I feel about something is going to be different than how Dan feels about something, because they complement each other. So it just kind of made sense to have the he said, she said, or Dan says, Dawn said, and it worked out really well. And so we were imparted all this stuff. I mean, Living MS is our first 10 years as a Power Exchange couple. We need to do a Living MS too, because we've got 10 more years under our belt. But it was a lot of stuff that we had learned over time and felt like we needed to share it with other people that were just starting.
So get to the point of the actual question, Dawn.
What made
for you personally, what made you want to write? As I take this pen and stab you in the heart.
And stab me. Because we already had the podcast
at
that point as well before we started writing. So, but I really feel like I had stuff to share, and I really wanted to help people and get it out to as many people as possible. Right. So there's not many books on Living MS. There's not many books on heterosexual power exchange. And I just wanted to get it out there. So I like to write. I like to put things in words. So that was my main goal, I guess, was to get it out to as many people as possible. So what about you?
I don't know. It's funny because I can't say. I mean, we originally with Sex Stories and Power Exchange, I wanted to write a book to become more well known. I wanted to become a book to become an accredited author, right? But we did that already. And at that point, at the point the books actually started coming out, we had enough gigs that really didn't matter.
We didn't
anymore.
need it for gigs. We were very popular. And as a matter of fact, we were teaching Living MS quite a bit.
Yeah.
That's why we titled it that way.
So why, I because we were supposed to is really the best answer I got. It just felt like the thing that we were supposed to be doing is to write this book, to communicate kind of the same reason we do the podcast. Maybe it's just a way to say, you and I have been gifted with these golden threads, these ideas. We've had these fucked up experiences in Power Exchange and polyamory, and there's no value in those fucked up experiences beyond you and me surviving them unless we get the opportunity to share it with other people as well. So I love the idea that somebody might be going through some concerns that, when they're comparing sex with another partner's partner, and to say, well, shit, somebody already wrote about it, and here's their view on it, to give me something to work off of, or any of that kind of stuff that our experience continues to be valuable to people that we haven't met yet or haven't heard the podcast. That's kind of I guess that's kind of the why.
Yeah, so just sharing the experience,
passion,
I guess,
just
and
passion.
the passion. Yeah. So everything we do is around this stuff. So
and really, that's one of the things that we've been very fortunate with, and that I recommend to people as well. Find out what you're passionate about and do that. For us, we don't have, or at least until recently, we don't really have jobs that have anything to do with our passion. The money we get doesn't have to do with passion. So it's neat that we get to have the opportunity to do something that expresses passion.
Yeah, I think it was just an extension of some of the stuff we were already doing, right? We'd already run for title and had, maybe that was another reason of putting Living MS together, right? We lost the international MS title, but we still had a lot of shit to share. So, it didn't invalidate us being Power Exchange. We still had a lot of stuff. So to put it out there, and then, right, the podcast was already happening, and then producing PXS, and and then BTL, and so all of it just seems to be about helping other people with their relationships. We just want people to be happy.
Yeah.
So, and we got tools to help.
What do you think? Head over to our Erotic Awakening. No, head over to our Facebook page, which is called Erotic Awakening Podcast.
All one word.
And share your thoughts. What are you passionate about? And really, that's the question that we'll put out there. Not why do you write? What are you passionate about? Side note, if you're going to do a podcast, do it as a topic you're passionate about versus something you want to make money at, because
you don't make money.
Some people do.
Some people
I'm
do,
on so many podcasting
it's kind
groups.
Of rare.
Yeah.
But you know what? If I start listening to a podcast and it's advertisement, and that's how they're trying to make money, I don't listen to it anymore. I don't listen to commercial radio. I don't listen to commercial TV. I'm not listening to commercial podcast.
Hey, I'm with you.
So,
hey, another thanks to our Patreon supporters. We really appreciate your support, Patreon supporters.
Sorry about that.
Don't worry, they use the skip button like I do on my podcast.
Right, but we're doing Patreon so that we don't have to do commercials.
No,
right?
No, I'm digging
because
that.
It does cost to do podcast. So yeah, but cool. Thanks,
here's the other question of the day. Then
what? What's the other question of the day?
If our right now our Patreon supporters we get about $200 a month from Patreon supporters, which means that none of the podcasting, that little camera looking over there, this microphone, none of that shit's actually costing us money. Finally, we actually, if we were getting $2 a month, would you keep podcasting?
We have.
Good point.
Right? We have. No, what we would do is probably have to go back to commercials. And I hate doing that. What
if you got no commercials? What if there was no money in podcasting?
I'd probably still do it. I like podcasting.
Junkie. It is a good way for you and I to process ourselves. And we've met some really cool people via the podcasting thing. And again, it's not for us. It's really neat that when we see people that are supporting again, it's not support the podcast. But this does lead into our next little topic. When we see people supporting the podcast, like this next one, we have an anonymous bought us a coffee, which actually they bought us
a cup of coffee.
Yeah, at fancy Starbucks.
Coffee, yeah.
They said, "Look, I don't want you to use my name." And it's somebody we see fairly often. And they said, "Look, I just want to say thank you. I listen to this stuff. I get value from it. I just wanted to say thank you." So it's a neat way for people to express that thank you.
It makes us feel special.
It does.
Like we're really doing something that's providing something.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you want to buy us a cup of coffee to say thank you, great. Or if you want to just, when you see us at an event, say, "Look, I got something good out of the podcast. I appreciate it." Or if you want to, you want to star fuck, why not?
Should start wearing my silver lame.
You should.
My silver lame bandana. You guys know hanky codes? We should do a podcast on hanky codes. Or do a question of the day. What is a hanky code? I've had a lot of people asking me recently what hanky codes are, because I'll talk about the Kickstarter cards, and I want to do a expansion pack. And in the expansion pack, I was at a gay male leather event, and they're like, "Why don't you have the hanky codes in here?" And I'm like, "Oh, I need to do the hanky codes in our Kickstarter cards. So, and then people are like, well, what are the hanky codes? And I'm like, oh, we need to have a topic on that. So,
Bungie recently sent us, we mentioned this recently, a show called You Can't Ask That. Looks really interesting. We haven't actually watched it yet. We got to remember when we're sitting there eating our Cheerios and we're sitting on. So here's how we watch.
All kinds of notes here. Look at my little tentacles, just kind of.
I see that. I don't know about you guys, but here's how we watch TV. Often we'll sit in front of the couch. We'll grab a bowl of cereal or whatever. We're getting off to do something else. We watch TV very rarely, but when we do, it's normally around a meal. And we'll pick up the remote and we'll go click. Oh, look at that. Click. Oh, what is it? Click. Oh, what is that? Click. Oh, what is that?
And then the cereal's on, and we haven't watched anything.
We've sat on Netflix scrolling through. They call that station paralysis or something.
Station paralysis?
So we just have to remember we have something to watch.
Why station paralysis?
Because instead of actually watching anything, there's so many choices.
Oh, that
we don't actually choose anything.
We just did that on our car ride from Minnesota too. Flip stations, because there's so many to choose from.
That's where she says stations. She's saying podcast.
I wasn't going to say podcast.
Don't listen to a lot of them. Although, I hear, guess what? So podcast listeners, you may or may not know, in my service, I now have a new boy. Mm-hmm. Do you know the boy? You know what the boy's favorite podcast is?
No.
Not ours. So there you go.
Sacrilegious.
Yes. Well.
Or something like that. That's probably the wrong term.
Speaking of television shows that we're not watching, also there's a show on Netflix called Bound, I think. Which is
bounding, I think.
Bounding, is it? Apparently the Netflix is taking a shot at the pro-dom thing. It's kind of a comedy, kind of a not exactly sure what it is. We haven't watched it yet.
We haven't watched it yet.
If you watched us, let us know how it is, whether it's worth watching or not. And if you're going to tell us that's worth watching or not, tell us one other show that you like. So, for example, somebody says, "Oh, that new show, Bound Russian Doll. That's a really good show. I really enjoyed that, and I also enjoy Two Blonde Girls or whatever that show is. Two Poor Girls or." I don't know. Some sitcom on CBS that tells us, so that's the kind of shows that you like, right? So I can compare. We have a lot of people that tell us, we love that Walking Dead TV show. I got through the first season and was okay. That's interesting, but I'm done with it. So if you tell us, I love Walking Dead and I love, if you tell us, like, for example, you love the show Russian Doll. And another show you really love is Happy. They will say, there's somebody with good taste. Right?
Yes, then we'll watch it.
We'll go watch it.
It'll be awesome. So cool.
Not to say that you've got bad taste. You're watching us after all. Or listening.
And listening. So I did want to mention, speaking of not advertising, but I do want to mention
don't waggle that tentacle
wagging that tentacle at you. Bad Dragon. So I'm betting everybody's heard of Bad Dragon right now. And Excalibur keeps sending me links to different Bad Dragon tentacle dildos that are showing up on Fet right now. So Bad Dragon makes dildos, and they're like dragon dildos and tentacle dildos and horsecock dildos and just griffin dildos and just all kinds of stuff. And I had my George. So we had George, and now there's Georgette. George disappeared. But Bad Dragon has donated some items to the PXS, the Power Exchange Summit Silent Auction. So if you get a chance, the event's only 2 weeks away. There's going to be Bad Dragon stuff in the silent auction. Yep. And if you don't know what Bad Dragon is and you have access to Pornhub, I'm sure everybody has access to Pornhub, check out Bad Dragon and you'll find out what you can do with those dildos. They're pretty hot.
Were you, I guess you weren't around at the formal event where somebody had a Bad Dragon dildo with the cum ejaculator thing.
I've got bottles of the cum.
Okay.
It's cum lube. So some of it's clear and some of it's white. And for some of the dildos, you can put that in there and it actually feels like the dildo is coming. So they tell me. But anyway, I wanted to thank Bad Dragon.
Absolutely.
For making a donation to PXS.
Random internet Instagram follower of the day is Musical Dog Lover.
Ooh,
now, yes. I don't know if that means musical dog, a lover of musical dogs,
or
Or
that they're musical and a dog lover.
right. So don't know.
I don't know. But
You're
I
gonna
like the
say?
name. I like the name. So find us on Instagram. We've actually been sending quite a few Instagram pictures again. The last one was us in a donut shop. No, the last one was me vending last night
Yes.
here at the space. So that was kind of neat. So find us on Instagram and see the picture of the day. And we are Erotic Awakening.
So we have our reaching.
Oh, reaching. Sorry, I put the bowl out there.
Random truth of the day. We did our random dares earlier. Nope.
And no, that's a dare. Wait,
That's a dare.
do you want that one or one of those? I think there's two
There.
there. Oop. Okay. So random truths. Wow.
Deep, huh?
Yeah. Do you want me to ask you first?
Yeah.
Okay. So Dan.
Mine's pretty light.
All right. It's not that deep, but it's
Okay.
a thinker. If you had the power to give or receive, I read this different the first time. Okay. If you had the power to give or receive unlimited orgasms, what would you pick?
To give
or receive.
receive unlimited orgasms. Initially I'm thinking, well, I can give me enough time and I can give unlimited orgasms.
Right. Already.
Give me enough time and I can receive unlimited orgasms. That's just a slower process.
But it says the power. So think of it as a superpower.
Okay. To give or receive unlimited orgasms. So I'm going to take receive.
Okay. I'm surprised.
I know you're
So
surprised because I'm making an assumption that for me to be able to receive unlimited orgasms means that the biology to put me in a state of orgasm.
Oh.
So to me, I'm taking that to mean this also gives me the power to have sex, have an orgasm, and then instantly become aroused again.
Nice.
Now, it doesn't clearly
say that, but
I'm
you know what?
assuming that's what that means.
It's a slip of paper, so you can make it mean what you want to make it mean. So, but that surprised me because usually you're not about that, but I can see where that would shift it. So you would, yeah, I could see that. Though, if you have the power to give yourself unlimited orgasms, does that mean I don't get to give you random blowjobs anymore?
No, it just means that they're way more random than you thought.
Nice.
Dawn.
Yes, sir.
It's kind of a silly question for us. What is a somewhat weird fetish? Oh, wait a minute. What about you? Give or receive unlimited orgasms?
Oh, give or receive? I was going to say give.
Well, we're on the same page.
So I can give you unlimited and you can receive unlimited.
Oh, but damn it. See, there we should partner up a little bit.
Yeah.
We should both take, give, or both say receive.
Yeah, why?
Because then we're working together. Like if you can give me unlimited orgasm, right? That's your power.
Right.
I've already got the power to give myself unlimited orgasm.
Right.
That's a lose. That's not.
That's true.
So if I could give unlimited orgasm and you could give unlimited orgasm,
yeah,
then we would both get unlimited orgasm.
That is true.
You're not buying the math for that for some reason.
Well, because I like it being a superpower, because that's what I would put on my FET profile. I have the superpower of giving unlimited orgasms. Who's on board? I get to meet and play with a lot of people.
It is unfortunate that we are kind of fans of that whole consent thing.
True.
Because
then you could because see how I picture it is like I get the power in my finger. Orgasm.
Right.
Orgasm. So I would just walk through people and get orgasms. So yes, but we are consent.
Yeah. Cop tries to give you a ticket. Orgasm. Orgasm.
I didn't think of it that way, but yes, that would be cool.
Be a special bonus for
or just make eye contact.
There you go.
And then they shiver an orgasm.
That would be a special bonus for our podcast listeners.
Ooh.
Orgasm.
Just stare into the camera and everybody's orgasming. That would be awesome.
Then who has their favorite podcast?
So what was your question for me?
Oh, sorry. So what is a somewhat weird fetish that you would actually like to try?
A somewhat weird fetish that I would actually like to try. You know,
Now-
I don't have many fetishes because I consider a fetish something that sexually turns you on.
Mhm.
Right. And for some people, they say that you have to have that to be sexually, to have an orgasm or something, that you have to have this
Right.
fetish. I don't go that far.
Mhm.
So a fetish is something that sexually turns me on that
But in
I
this
would
case,
like to try and haven't tried.
It's just a fetish. It's something that's
Right.
aligned as a fetish. Doesn't have to be your fetish.
Oh.
Just something that you want that's along the line of fetish.
Of a fetish that I would
You
like
can
to
almost say
try.
something that's kinky.
Right. Something that's
Alternative.
kinky that I haven't tried yet
That
I
you would actually
like to
like
try.
to.
I mean, because tentacle sex is right up there, but Bad Bunny made sure I got to at least role play that.
Right.
I feel like there should be something on the tip of my tongue. Like a DP is still near the top of my list, right? I got things on my bucket list, like being wrapped with bubble wrap and then single-tailed, right? Is that really a fetish? I don't know. That's just a scene idea. So for some people, but most of the other stuff I've tried. Needles is a fetish for some people. I've tried that. Whips, canes, paddles, fire, wax, electric, fisting.
Now you're just showing off.
I've done all of that, and then things that I'm not interested in, I haven't done. So I don't know.
Okay.
And things I don't like, I don't do.
We don't get points for these, so there's no point in me winning this one.
So, but what fetish, do you have a fetish that you would like to try?
I would like to try fucking a stranger, having sex with somebody who I don't know who it is, and interrogation play.
See, I used to really, 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 really want interrogation play. And I was upset because you wouldn't do that with me. And then you let me know that because you know the buttons to push for me to make me a basket case, you won't do it with me.
Right. It wouldn't be fun for either one of us.
Right. So, and then over time, I've watched some interrogation play. I don't know that I want to do it anymore.
And cosplay.
I'd love to do cosplay.
We just came up with a boffers.
Yeah, so we could do boffers. So what was it? What were we doing? The Sensual Spanking Intensive.
Uh-huh.
And we were doing the Kickstarter cards, and we were trying to have people come up with the scene that I would really love to do. And that's who won the prize. And somebody came up with Wonder Woman wearing a dildo. And what was it? Wonder Woman wearing a dildo. And I think there was restraints involved and something else. And I'm like, yes, yeah, that one wins. Out of the 5 groups, that one wins. That is one I would like to do, cosplay.
And
I've done it a little bit. I've done it twice.
And King of Tokyo play.
King of Tokyo play?
Yes. Earlier today, we were playing a game of King of Tokyo with my partner, Kat, and one of the N's.
Her end partner.
Her end partner. And we kinkified the game King of Tokyo. So the point of the game in King of Tokyo, you smash other monsters.
Oh, that's right.
So every time you smash a monster, to have like a flogger, and you get to flog somebody or something like that.
That would be cool. So that would be neat. But you know what else has turned me on recently? Somebody said something, and I almost bought that slingshot. Damn, I didn't go back to get that slingshot.
See, there you go. There's your fetish.
There is one. So there is a fetish that I would like to try. Not that it would be my fetish. I just think it would be fun.
Right.
But someone said something about a slingshot with mini cupcakes, right? And to take the slingshot and to shoot people with cupcakes. And I'm like, a Twisted Tryst, they have a food play sort of like in the morning at 9:00 in the morning, they have a food play scene, right? And anybody that wants to be in it can be in it. And I'm loving the idea of just being on the sidelines, not being part of the getting food thrown on me, but being on the sidelines, sitting in a scrunchy chair, and with my slingshot and mini cupcakes, frosting out and popping people with cupcakes, so the cupcakes stick to them.
Huh. It's a fun visual.
Do I find it sexy? No, but I find it fun that I can peg people with cupcakes. Right?
Yeah. No, I get it. I'm with you.
Okay.
Newsletter subscriber new Joyce, Texas.
Welcome, Joyce. So get your EA shout out, head over to the eroticawakening.com website, and you'll find a link to the EA newsletter.
Dawn, the random Reddit After Dark question of the day is how long?
I thought it was timely. It's nice.
How long should
I picked this last week.
How long should a blowjob last before a guy comes?
Yeah, I picked this last week.
Okay.
So cool. I thought that was interesting. How long should a blowjob last before a guy comes? And I mean, honestly, when I read this, I was like, why would somebody ask that? Why is there a time limit? That's a goal. I'm no goal. So, though I did just have a conversation with a memory with Chantress.
Yes, I was wondering if you were going to remember that.
Yeah, with Chantress. At the spanking party, we were chatting, and we've known each other for, good gosh, since the beginning, so 20 years.
Yep.
And we were talking about blowjobs, and I whipped around and I looked at her and I'm like, oh, I've given your husband a blowjob. And she's like, yes, I was there. I'm like, I know, you had to finish. My jaw locked. So sometimes I think blowjobs can last too long because I get tired. And then I feel like I have to finish, right? And it's like, my jaw's tired. I'm tired. It's not fun anymore. And I like it when I can be present and it's still fun. But if it's too long, then it's not fun. And sometimes I'll actually ask the guy to help me out. Right. And watching a guy stroke himself, fucking one of the hottest things that I like to watch. I'm not so much of a voyeur, but I do love to watch a guy stroke himself. So when it's consensual, I don't want to just walk around somebody and have somebody randomly. Don't look at me like that. It's happened before.
Absolutely. I get it. Nope.
So, so I have to have them help me out because it's just too long.
Yep.
But a quickie blowjob is just fine, especially if there's touching and just licking, and it's just fucking hot.
The correct answer is as long as appropriate.
As long as appropriate, right? Just be attentive and be present and be there. And whether it's short, medium, long, lasting, as long as everybody's having a good time.
Yep. So
cool.
Dawn, did you know the Man Stroking Himself podcast is higher rated than Erotic Awakening?
I don't think so. Well, I don't think so.
Take a moment to support the podcast. Rate us on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Stitcher, Spotify, or wherever you listen.
Or just tell your friends.
So we got to get to our interview now, but first you must tell us about naked girl legs.
So, yes. So John sent some tentacles wrapped around naked girls' legs. I really liked that one. And then Daryl sent some real octopuses. So that was a little different. Those were a little, I get sent pictures of real octopuses every now and then, and they were a little different. Did I show the picture that Excalibur got me?
No. For those listening on the podcast, you'll have to visualize this.
At the formal event, and this one can be shown on YouTube, so it's safe to show on YouTube. So Excalibur from Cleveland got me this picture. You'll have to help me open it up. And it is just beautifully done. So I don't know. Yeah, it's a little shiny on the camera. But isn't that beautiful? So I actually want to put it on the wall behind us, but I'll probably get it framed first.
Wait a minute. Why would it go on the wall behind us?
All right, I'll put it in my office then.
Hold it, wait.
Yeah?
Yeah, I'm going to Instagram that shit.
Are you going to Instagram it? Okay. So we're on YouTube and you're Instagramming while we're on YouTube. So let's do the whole media thing.
We're in social media purgatory. I don't know. All right, there we go.
Awesome. So, but yeah, this is just really, really cool. And it's kind of like on a fabric. So instead of paper, it's really neat. I've gotten, over the 10 years we've been doing this, I've gotten a few tentacle things, and they are all just absolutely beautiful. So you really are Instagramming. That's awesome. So cool. And then we've got a interview coming up.
So we happen to run into Crimson Aurora, who we've seen at many events. And I was just randomly talking to her and another submissive identifying person, and they were at LLC at Leather Leadership Conference. Yep. And they were talking about what it's like to be single in the scene. And I said, well, this is kind of interesting. How about shutting up while I get a microphone and then talking some more?
We do that with people sometimes. Shut up. Let's get the microphone. Stop talking.
And they said they would be happy to do that. At least one of them said, I don't like being told to shut up, and left. I didn't literally say shut up. But I know, Crimson Aurora stuck around and she told us what it's like to be single in the scene. And it's very interesting.
Interesting conversation. Yeah, because she had talked to me a little bit before you started recording her, and it was really interesting. Yeah.
Absolutely.